You know what's wild? Right now, in this very moment, someone somewhere is feeling guilty for doing absolutely nothing. They're sitting on their couch, scrolling through their phone, and that little voice in their head is saying, "You should be productive. You should be doing something." But what if I told you that doing nothing might actually be one of the most important things you can do?
Oh, Chris is about to justify all of our lazy Sundays.
Hey everyone, welcome to English Era Podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Emily, and today we're diving into something that honestly sounds too good to be true. The actual benefits of doing nothing, like scientifically proven benefits.
Right? And Emily, I have to say, when we picked this topic, I was a bit skeptical. Because, society tells us to hustle, to be productive all the time. You've done some research on this, and I'm genuinely curious. What's the deal here?
Oh, where do I even start? So the thing is, well, our brains are not meant to be on all the time, right? And there's actually a whole scientific explanation for why doing nothing is essential. I'm so excited to break this down for you.
Okay, so first things first. When we say doing nothing, what exactly do we mean? Because, I'm guessing we're not talking about literally staring at a wall for hours, right?
Well, you could, but no, you're right. Doing nothing doesn't mean being completely inactive. It's more about, how do I put this? It's about giving your mind a break from structured, goal-oriented activities. You know what I mean?
So watching TV counts?
Actually, not really. Because when you're watching TV, your brain is still processing information, following storylines, being stimulated. Doing nothing is more like sitting in your garden and just observing things, taking a walk without your phone, or, and this is my favorite, just daydreaming.
Wait, daydreaming is considered doing nothing?
Yes, and this is where it gets super interesting. When you daydream, there's this network in your brain called the default mode network. We'll call it DMN for short, and it becomes really active. This network is crucial for things like self-reflection, memory consolidation, and creativity.
Okay, so, hold on. You're telling me that when I'm just sitting there, letting my mind wander, my brain is actually working?
Exactly. It's not lazy at all. It's like, okay, think of it this way. When you're actively focused on a task, you're using one part of your brain. But when you do nothing, a completely different part kicks in, and that part is responsible for connecting ideas, processing emotions, and basically making sense of your life. Do you know what I mean?
That's actually mind-blowing. So all those times I felt guilty for spacing out during a boring meeting.
Your brain was probably solving problems you didn't even know you had.
All right, so we've established that doing nothing isn't actually nothing. But what are the actual benefits? What happens to our body and mind when we allow ourselves to rest?
Oh, there are so many. Let's start with stress. So, when you're constantly busy, your body produces cortisol. That's the stress hormone. And high levels of cortisol over time can lead to all sorts of health problems: anxiety, depression, weakened immune system, even heart disease.
Yikes.
I know, right? But here's the thing. When you do nothing, when you truly rest, your cortisol levels drop. Your nervous system shifts from this fight or flight mode into what's called rest and digest mode.
Rest and digest. I like that. So it's like giving your body permission to chill out?
Exactly. And when your body is in that state, it can actually repair itself. Your immune system gets stronger, your digestion improves, and, well, you just feel better overall. It's like, pressing a reset button.
Okay, but what about creativity? You mentioned that earlier. How does doing nothing make us more creative?
Right, so this is fascinating. There have been studies, actual scientific studies, where they found that people who take breaks and allow their minds to wander come up with more creative solutions to problems than people who just power through without rest.
Really? Why is that?
Because creativity requires your brain to make new connections, right? And those connections happen when you're not forcing yourself to think. It's like, have you ever noticed that your best ideas come when you're in the shower or taking a walk?
Oh my God, yes! All the time.
That's because your brain is in that relaxed state where it can explore freely. It's not constrained by, the immediate task at hand. And that's when innovation happens.
This is all so interesting, but I'm wondering, in real life, how do people actually practice doing nothing, especially in a world where everyone's so busy?
Great question. Actually, I think it's helpful to hear from people who've tried this. So I've prepared a short dialogue between two friends. Let's call them Maya and Jake, who are talking about this exact thing.
Hey, Jake, you seem different lately. More, I don't know, calm? What's your secret?
Honestly, I started doing nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
Like, literally nothing. Every day, I set aside 20 minutes where I just sit. No phone, no TV, no book. Just sitting.
And you don't get bored?
At first, yeah, the first few days were torture. My mind was racing, thinking about everything I should be doing.
Uh-huh.
But after a week or so, something shifted. I started noticing things, like the sound of birds outside or how the light changes in my room. And, I don't know, I just felt lighter.
That's interesting. Did it help with your stress?
Oh, absolutely. I used to feel overwhelmed all the time, like I was drowning in tasks.
Right.
But now I feel like I have more mental space to breathe. Plus, I've been way more productive when I actually work because my mind is clearer.
Maybe I should try it. I've been feeling so burnt out lately.
You should. Start small, like 5 or 10 minutes. You don't have to do it perfectly. The point is just to give yourself permission to pause.
So, Chris, what do you think of that?
I mean, Jake's experience sounds relatable. I think a lot of us feel that constant pressure to be doing something. But the idea of just sitting for 20 minutes sounds, I don't know, kind of scary.
Right? It does at first, because we're so used to constant stimulation. But here's the thing, it gets easier, and the benefits are real. People who practice this regularly report better sleep, improved focus, and just a greater sense of well-being.
You know what's interesting, though? Different cultures have different relationships with rest and doing nothing. Like, in some places, it's totally normal to take long breaks during the day.
Oh, absolutely. Take the Italian concept of dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing. It's this beautiful idea that you don't always need a reason to relax. Or the Spanish siesta, where entire cities shut down in the afternoon for rest.
Yeah, and in contrast, in places like the US or parts of Asia, there's this hustle culture where rest is almost seen as lazy or unproductive.
Exactly. And that's a problem because, well, we're seeing the consequences. Burnout rates are through the roof, mental health issues are increasing, and people are just exhausted. The thing is, we need to shift that mindset.
So how do we do that? How do we give ourselves permission to do nothing when everything around us says we should be busy?
I think it starts with understanding that rest is productive. It's not the opposite of work. It's actually what makes work possible. Without rest, we can't think clearly. We can't be creative, and we certainly can't be happy. So in a way, doing nothing is one of the most productive things you can do.
I love that perspective. It's like, investing in yourself?
Exactly. You wouldn't expect your phone to work 24/7 without charging it, right? So why do we expect that from ourselves?
Okay, so Emily, for our listeners who are thinking, all right, I'm convinced, I want to try this. What are some practical ways to incorporate doing nothing into daily life?
Great question. So here are a few ideas. First, start small. You don't need to commit to an hour of doing nothing. Even 5 minutes can make a difference. Set a timer if you need to. Just sit somewhere comfortable and let your mind wander.
What if your mind is too busy? Like, what if you just keep thinking about your to-do list?
That's totally normal. And here's the trick. Don't fight it. Just observe your thoughts without judging them. You can say to yourself, "Oh, there's that thought about work again," and then gently bring your attention back to just being present. It's like, meditation, but less structured.
Okay, what else?
Second tip, create spaces for doing nothing. This could be a corner in your home where you don't bring your phone, or it could be a park bench you visit regularly. Having a dedicated space makes it easier to get into that restful mindset.
That makes sense. Any other tips?
Yeah, third one, embrace boredom. I know that sounds weird, but boredom is actually a gateway to creativity and rest. Instead of immediately reaching for your phone when you're waiting in line or sitting on a train, just be. Let yourself be bored. You might be surprised at what comes up.
And finally?
Finally, schedule it. I know it sounds contradictory to schedule doing nothing, but in our busy lives, if you don't make time for it, it won't happen. Treat it like any other important appointment.
I really like these tips. They feel doable, Like, I could actually start today.
And you should, because honestly, the hardest part is just giving yourself permission. Once you do that, it becomes easier and easier.
All right, now it's time for everyone's favorite part, the vocabulary breakdown. Emily and I are going to go through some keywords and phrases from today's episode.
Let's start with a phrase we used a lot today, to give yourself permission. Cris, what does this mean?
So to give yourself permission means to allow yourself to do something without feeling guilty. For example, I gave myself permission to sleep in on Sunday. It's about letting go of self-imposed rules.
Perfect. And it's such an important phrase for this topic because a lot of people struggle to rest because they don't give themselves permission to do so.
Next up, we have to let your mind wander. Emily?
Right. So this means to allow your thoughts to flow freely without focusing on anything specific, like when you're daydreaming or just thinking about random things. During the long train ride, I let my mind wander.
Nice. Okay, here's an interesting one. Burnt out. This is a really common expression, especially when talking about work and stress.
Oh, yeah. Burnt out means to be extremely exhausted, especially from working too hard or being under too much stress for too long. After working 60-hour weeks for months, she felt completely burnt out.
It's like your energy is just gone, right?
Exactly. Like a candle that's burned all the way down. There's nothing left.
Let's do another one, to space out. I mentioned this earlier when talking about meetings.
Yes, to space out means to lose focus and start daydreaming, usually unintentionally. I'm sorry, I spaced out for a moment. What did you say?
It happens to all of us. Okay, how about to power through?
To power through means to continue doing something despite difficulty or exhaustion. It's when you push yourself to keep going. Even though I was tired, I powered through and finished the project.
And while sometimes that's necessary, today we learned that always powering through isn't healthy.
Exactly. You need balance. All right, next word, overwhelmed. This is a feeling we discussed quite a bit.
Overwhelmed means to feel like you have too much to deal with, like you can't handle everything. I feel overwhelmed by all my responsibilities at work and home.
It's that sense of being buried under too much, right? Like everything is piling on.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's do one more, to make sense of something.
To make sense of something means to understand or find meaning in something. After the confusing lecture, I needed time to make sense of all the information.
It's about processing and organizing information or experiences in a way that you can understand them.
Perfect explanation. And remember, everyone, these words and phrases are super useful not just for understanding today's topic, but for everyday English conversation.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Emily, I have to say, this conversation has been eye-opening. I genuinely feel like I have permission now to do nothing without feeling guilty about it.
Mission accomplished. But seriously, I hope everyone listening takes away the message that rest isn't selfish or lazy. It's necessary. Your brain and body need it.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm actually going to try Jake's approach. Maybe start with 10 minutes of just sitting and see what happens.
I love that. And for everyone listening, we'd love to hear about your experiences. Have you tried doing nothing? How did it feel? What challenges did you face?
Yeah, share your stories with us. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and share it with your friends who need to hear this message.
Also, don't forget that all our episodes come with transcripts and vocabulary lists on our website, so you can review everything we talked about today.
Before we go, let's leave you with one final thought. In a world that glorifies busyness, choosing to do nothing might be the most radical thing you can do for your well-being.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Until next time.
Keep learning, keep growing, and don't forget to do nothing once in a while.
Bye.
Bye.